protest is very important because the country is at a situation where it has to stop and reverse, because the trajectory of the country is such that it is taking the country towards a situation that can only generate conflict, because poverty is increasing, unemployment is increasing, high cost of living, as high cost of living, as high rate of deprivation, and the levels of frustration in the country as a result of this is so high that it is also manifested in other forms, such as crime, such as drugs abuse, such as irregular migration. And these conditions, these situations, as they continue, they therefore undermine the peace and stability of the country. And all of these are happening simply because the government is refusing public officials at the level of the president, the cabinet, the parliament, and other agencies, departments of the country, are not performing their functions according to the law. That is to manage the public affairs, public resources of this country in a manner that will serve the best interests of Gambian citizens. Rather, what we see is how the culture of corruption and impunity has become widespread, encouraged and rewarded. All right. So when you consider all of these, you realize that there is a need for citizens, to get up, to stand up, to speak out, to let the leaders, the managers of the resources of this country, to realize that they are not serving the people. And so I hope the officials receive this from that perspective and not to look at this as usually they do, to brush it aside or to consider it as probably a bunch of troublemakers, or even there are agents behind, some people behind these people. But I think government needs to be honest, to be realistic, to realize that, and one need not tell them that for them to know that, because government itself has carried out a lot of investigations, and produced reports that indicate this culture of corruption. The National Assembly has produced a lot of reports of that. The National Audit Office, the Office of the President itself. All right. So all of these are issues that the government is very much aware of. Now the issue is, do they have the will, to stop what is happening and bring themselves back to the path of legality, to the path of constitutionality, to uphold the principles of democracy, of good governance. Otherwise, I don't think it is going to augur well for the Gambia, now or later. This is why this protest is very important.
Thank you very much, Uncle Madi, for that brilliant insight. That's definitely the very important reason behind the protest. So what message do you have for the youth that came out today in support of this protest?
Well, for the youth to realize one protest is not enough. Yeah, one protest is not going to solve all the problems at once. But it is significant that the youth have come out and have seen a certain level of determination, of clarity and focus. But this needs to be sustained, because ultimately the youth are victims of this situation of bad governance in this culture of corruption. Because what it does is, what corruption does, it denies opportunities. And first and foremost, youth will be denied opportunities. And we see that how young people are being forced into what they call the back way, drugs, crime, and so on. So youth are direct victims, primary victims of corruption. So my message to young people to realize one protest, yes, will not solve this, and It's great a lot of youth came out, but to say that they have to sustain this, yes, they have to sustain this engagement. They have to protest. Not all protests have to be on the street. They have to speak out. They should consider going to court, all right, and those kinds of things. They should petition. Yes, those have to continue every day.